Well, I thank the good Lord I'm feeling a lot better than I was last week. I didn't know if I was even going to make it through. It was tough, but I feel a lot better. Got a lot more pep these days. So, you was asking about what we did about eating and so forth, and how that all worked. Well, now, when the crops came in, we, all of us youngins and mommy, and we'd go and we'd all sit around on the front porch. We'd shuck the corn, and the Lord have mercy, we'd just shuck ear after ear after ear. We'd shuck that old corn, and then we'd snap them old green beans. And if you ain't ever done that, you really missing out. Now, snapping the beans ain't so much fun, but it's just the company, being around with your family, and some of the best stories and the best jokes you ever heard was told while we was snapping them beans. I have the best memories of just being out there on the front porch, and all of us just laughing and talking, and we just had the goodest time ever. And I'd give anything if I could just go back one more time and just do that. Just snap me some green beans. And Lord, it was so much fun, and I didn't know it at the time, but you get a little older, you realize what really makes a difference for you. So, snapping them beans was a thing. And I never did cotton shucking that corn as much, though. Yeah, I just didn't. Wasn't something that appealed to me too much, but no. Now, when we was getting ready for the fall, of course, and that's when we'd do the canning. Now, Mommy, you could make some of the best mixed pickles you ever did eat in all your born days. Those pickles, they melt in your mouth. And I tell you what, we'd can away. We'd get canned the tomatoes, and we'd get the pickles and just a little bit of everything. We'd put them in there and can away. And that's what we'd eat. That's what we'd eat while we was trying to make it through the old winter. But yeah, Lord, yeah, we'd can beans, and we'd can carrots, and Mom, had a way of making applesauce. We canned applesauce, and then she made some jams and jellies, and Lord, we made it all. Sure did. Now, that's what we'd have to eat during the winter, because there wasn't nothing to growing, and we didn't have the money, because there's 8 of us and all. So we'd just have to make it last. Sure would. Mommy had it down to a science. She sure did. She knew. She had them mason jars and used them over and over. Winter after winter, we'd have them same old mason jars. She just knew exactly what it took to get us through. Sure did. Now, one of the funnest things we did was about this time of year. Sure was. About this time of year, we'd always make apple butter there at the church. And everybody in the whole holler would show up. I mean, from the mouth to the head of the holler, everybody come down. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry up in the holler came down. And we just sat around and made a whole day of it. I don't know if you've ever been around it, but that making apple butter is an all-day affair. Well, what you did, we'd get the fire going, and then we'd had an old copper kettle. That thing was a big old kettle. So we'd put that on there and let it get all scoved up and a burning. Get them apples in there and get to work. And I tell you what, about after they cooked on there, and you stir and stir, and one would stir, and then the next would stir, and then the next would stir, and the next would stir, and we just hand that old stick around, and people would stir and stir and stir, and everybody took them a turn or two or 10. It was you just did what you could do to get through. So, and then after it'd been cooking for a while, they'd pour a big old bunch of sugar in there, and I'm telling you, Lord have mercy. My goodness, that's some good stuff right there. Apple butter, and they'd stir it up, and one would stir and another one would scrape off the top just to make sure that it just kept its good kind of pink color there to it, and then we'd finally be ready to finish them up, and they'd all gather around, and we'd have a big old stack of mason jars, and everybody'd get up there, and they'd all put a jar under and get it filled up, and they'd slap them lids on so fast they wanted it to get sealed up while it's still hot. That's the key. You did not want it to cool off any or anything like that. They got it while it's still piping hot, and one jar after the other, and another jar, and then all the families and everybody would get them a jar or two, and we just made a good day out of it. And I reckon the church may have sold some of it too. I know they did later on. I don't rightly recall what they did back when I was a little boy, but it was just one of those events that you waited all year for. But yeah, it was a fun thing. And then of course we made them old leather breeches. I've talked to you about them before too. You get them beans and hang them up to dry and lay them out there and get them things just to dry out. But it's some good eating though. Once you get there in the winter, and Mommy would put them in the pan, and they'd spring back to life. And I tell you one thing, I'd rather have them 10-1 over just plain old green beans. I'm telling you that right now. If you ain't ever had them, you need to get you some. So that's a lot of how we lived back then. And of course, there's other things that we did. We'd get them old carrots and onions, and some them maters, and had some taters, and had a few things to choose from. And we had an old apple tree out there in the yard. And then a lot of times we'd all walk up in the mountains, me and my sisters, my brother. We'd go up in the mountains and find us some blueberries and blackberries, strawberries, if we could find them anywhere, whatever's out there in the wild. We'd just take us some buckets and get all we could. Lord, we'd eat while we was picking them off too. You get you a belly full of them, that old fruit. Seemed to just taste better that way. I don't know why that is, but it just, when you picked your own, it just tasted better. And that's a fact. Now, I ate better then than I'll ever eat now. Oh, Lordy, I tell you what. We got, when you look back, it's pretty healthy meals. Really. Wasn't too bad. And Mom would, put some fat back and some lard in there, so I don't guess it's too healthy there when not always, anyway. That's right. But yeah, it's just, that's pretty much how we ate. And then, of course, we went hunting in the fall and lived off the land because that's where we got to meet. And oh yeah. So that's pretty much how it was done. But, well, thank you for asking me, and we'll talk at you next time.